The emergency alert system. Yes, by now most of us should be aware of the situation which is going to unfold apparently from the 23rd of April at 3 p.m. or thereabouts. Now, we spoke about this last year, around about October, November time. A massive heads up, lots of people have had lots of time to look into what is going to be happening on this time that we are rapidly approaching. So in this video there is lots of information. Okay, now listen, it's very hard to find out what's true and what's false. Nonetheless, there is a lot of information in this video and you need to really look into it yourself if you want to try and find the truth. Okay, it's very difficult and it's very time consuming. I've spent hours and hours and hours reading, watching, listening, speaking to people to get this information. Some of this information you can't find online anywhere, okay? So I urge you to share this video to as many people as possible because time is of the essence. So we're going to get straight into it, okay? So we're looking at from 6 p.m. on the 20th of April, which was yesterday, all councils in the UK were sending out Twitter messages reminding people about this emergency alert system. Since then, I've just checked, as from today, all schools in the UK are sending out these constant repeats just to make it aware that everyone in the whole of the UK needs to be fully aware of this emergency alert thing. And no doubt, it's been all over the mainstream as well. So pretty much, if you don't know what's going on, yeah, it's going on whether you want it to happen or not, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, firstly, a company called Fujitsu. You remember those companies in the 80s that done like the cameras and all of that sort of thing? Well, look into them. I'm going to put links below them underneath this video, all about sustainability, which we've spoken about on numerous occasions on this channel, okay? Yes, climate change, like I said, always has a current theme to this. So we read on. Fujitsu has been contracted by the government. Now, listen to this. If you don't already know, Fujitsu has had massive issues with companies within the UK. The NHS, huge, massive problems. And I believe there was a 10-year case of trying to get money back. The post office absolutely ruins the post office. Loads of people, managers and stuff within the post office have lost their jobs because of all of the problems, leading right back to Fujitsu, okay? Now, apparently the post office had massive issues, but the government doesn't seem to care. Now, my thoughts are that there's people within the government who have got direct links and financial ties to Fujitsu, okay? Jobs for the boys, call it what you will. Reread on. Now, guess what? Fujitsu have just won a £500 million contract with the UK government. Moreover, HMRC, the tax man, okay? Listen, for 5 years, so it's due to run out in 2027. So it's on like Donkey Kong right now, all right? Also, they've had 134 other public contracts, totaling £3.56 billion since 2012. Bearing in mind the horrendous track records that Fujitsu has had, why is our amazingly kind, benevolent government giving our taxpayers money towards companies like this? Like I said, I'm going to put all of the links you're going to need to know below this video. If you don't believe what I'm saying, check out the links, all right? That's all I'm going to say. So listen to this. We've been digging as we do on this channel. Fujitsu, they're partners, okay? So they're close associate partners within that conglomerate organization. Include Cisco Systems, Intel, Microsoft, SAP, ServiceNow. What do they have in common? Yes, they are all partners to the World Economic Forum. So what have we discovered so far? We've got a seriously dodgy tech company which is involved in a lot of bad things, and especially the World Economic Forum. Now don't forget, all of the links I'm going to share are below this video, okay? So it's not looking good because, yes, Fujitsu, if you don't already know, have won the contract to do this emergency alert system. So we're in really good hands based on what I've just read. If you want to deep dive into that, don't forget the links below. It expands on it massively. And there's some really interesting a link as well talking about lords and baronesses talking about stuff within the commons, etc. And the state, the crown, about all of this sort of thing with Fujitsu. Seriously dodgy affair. And another thing which we've come across online. Now, I've been doing some deep diving into this myself. Like I said, it's very hard to find out factual, truthful information, but you can't deny the amount of things, links, and what's that word that we like to talk about? Not conspiracy, it's coincidences. There are many coincidences about what I'm going to tell you. Now, this appeals to everyone living in London. So if you're watching in London or you know someone, you've got friends and family in London, look into it. And if you sort of have any feelings or thoughts about what I'm about to say, you need to share this video with them guys in London. So manhole covers, locations all over London. Now, what we've been looking into, there has been lots, not all, of, shall we say, without being horrible, foreign men. Recently, we've talked about the migrant situation here in the UK, of fighting age males, etc. Yes, interesting. Apparently, they've been installing devices in these manhole covers all over London recently, from February to today. Okay, and I've been looking into it, and there's a device called a fibre dome closure. Now, I myself have been in the wiring industry for over 20 years. And yes, I have worked with fibre optics. And yes, I have come across these. But some of the things in the photos, which I'm going to try and show on the screen as I'm talking about this, are not these devices. Okay, so we read on. Lots of this installation has been done at night time. Night time. Nothing really wrong with that, but majority of the installations at night time, not in the daytime. Very odd. Don't forget, contractors and companies and subcontractors, they would rather try and do stuff in the day because it's going to eat into their budget paying extra money to work at night time. Bear that in mind. So this has been carried on with plain work vans, mostly white vans with no markings whatsoever. I regress what I mentioned about the migrant situation, moving into hotels and usual typical street accommodation in houses and tenancies and sort of things like this, plain white vans. So, as I said, there's no identification marks whatsoever on these vans, and the workers who was carrying out these installations within these manhole covers, they had no identifiable high-vis vests, which is very strange because as a subcontractor, you're working for a company or even a limited company like yourself, you're probably going to wear some identifiable features on your high-vis vest. There has not been one single reported case of any of this being the case. And some people have been inquisitive into what has been going on. So they've approached these guys installing these devices in all of these manhole covers all over London since February. And not one single reported case of any of these workers have any ID or work ID backing up the company that they're working for doing these installations. Now, that is a major red flag. I fully understand that subcontractors, they don't have markings, etc., but they should all have work IDs or permits, at least showing to the public that they got access and authorization to lift these manhole covers from the council at very least. Okay, so all of these reported installations are next to gas pipes. Gas mains, yes. Looking at the photographs here is just one. Now, if you look at it, it's got the gas thing right next to it, and there's loads of these. There's absolutely nearly all of these cases which have been reported online, not on YouTube, okay? So this all sounds to be very sinister when you consider that all of these, right, are next to lots of parked vehicles, and what's inside vehicles? Petrol, diesel, and electric vehicles. They can all explode, okay? And also, they are all in residential houses right outside people's houses, blocks of flats, etc. Now, the weird thing is, which a friend of mine told me about. I didn't know until I checked, and I double checked. On the 23rd, which is when they're going to be rolling out this emergency alert, is the London Marathon. So there's going to be a lot of people in London on that day. Lots of these suspicious devices have been planted all over London. And some of these people, when they were approached, lots of them appeared to be very nervous. And guess what? Some of them were actually caught on camera doing selfies. Why would you want to do a job like that and get a selfie done with your workmates? Why would you want to do that? Like I said, you have to read on because there's lots of this going on, okay? Now, another strange thing is the EAS, which is the Emergency Alert System alert, has been brought forward to 3 p.m. Do you remember? You can check back on my videos, and I've actually showed screenshots and links as well of the government website saying that this alert will be rolled out from early evening. We are now British summertime, and typically early evening is from 6 p.m. onwards. Only recently, within the last 10 days, they have brought this forward till 3 p.m. Why? When you look at the London Marathon, look what time that finishes. I know, coincidences are everywhere. Also, if you want to throw this into the hat, it's only days away from the coronation as well. What I urge you to do, guys, to do is, I'm going to put a link to this under this video as well, is the MI5 current threat level, okay? So it's been at substantial for a while, which is right in the middle out of a 5-tier alert point system, as it were. So we're right in the middle between being nothing to worry about to extreme massive terrorist attack due any minute sort of warning. We're right in the middle currently. Be interesting to see how that alert elevates from the MI5 from today leading right up to the 23rd, 24th and 25th. We'll get into that later. Also, when you consider it's on St. George's Day, the patron saint of England. Now, what has been happening in England? Lots of you guys are aware of what's going on. And yes, we have literally been seeing an attack, invasion, sleeper cells, Trojan horse, call it whatever you will, into England itself over the past few years. And moreover, ramping up big time last year and this year. Okay, some of you guys will fully understand what I'm talking about based on what we discussed earlier in this video. Now, here is another thing which I'm going to read out from a friend of mine who sent me this. Now, something to consider. Like I said, all this is information. It's very hard to prove what is true and what is false. All I'm doing is providing information for you guys to look into, trust your intuition and instinct, and decide what you feel you need to do. So we read on. There are 27.23 million mobile phone connections in the UK, 85.01 million active mobile devices, and 12.22 million connected things. Number one, 98% of the adult population have a mobile phone, making 1.37 million active, 1.37 active connections per head of population. Now imagine all of them going off at once, all at the same time. Now you would have to send a frequency and a wave across the entire UK at exactly the same time to every single phone within the United Kingdom. Now trust me when I say turn your phone off before 3 p.m. on that day. That frequency or wave will be extremely high for it to happen at exactly the same time. So yes, most of us are completely unaware of how important frequencies are, especially with Wi-Fi, moreover the 5G network as well. If you understand what I'm talking about, fine, but if you don't, there is a massive rabbit hole to dive down regards frequency and the effects on human beings and indeed all biological life forms, okay? They are not testing the alarm, they are testing the magnitude of the frequency and the impact of the wave. Please turn your devices off and stay away from large crowds. What you could witness will not be a natural occurrence, it will be man-made. Not natural, not good, remember. So that was what's come in from a friend of mine, and I do believe that text is circulating social media like wildfire right now, okay? So another theory, okay, something to consider with what is going on. 560 hertz, thereabouts, okay, MNRA insertions, we're going to use that word, okay, from the year 2020, could activate some changes within the body of people who have chosen to have this insertion. Okay, another thing to throw into the hat while we're talking about outlandish sort of things which are coming into social media, okay, who has seen the film Kingsman? Kingsman film, I think it's 2014, Samuel L. Jackson, I think Michael Caine was in there. Very good film, actually. I quite enjoyed watching that back in the day. Now, the basic theory of that film was all of these SIM cards were given out freely to people. You had to have an implant in your neck, and basically you got top speed, free internet access 24/7. Okay. Now, if any of you guys have seen the film The Kingsman, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I will try and put a link to that trailer below this video so you can at least understand what film it is. And it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen The Kingsman, okay? You can probably buy it on DVD on eBay for £1, or you might even find it in a charity shop for 10p, okay? But it's definitely worth a watch. Now, we've all seen lots of things happen in Hollywood years ago which are coming to pass now. This could be, and I hope to God it isn't, the case with what could be planned as from the 23rd of April moving forward through time. Okay, yes, it's very, very scary what happened in that film regards internet, a mobile phone alert which was sent globally, and it had a massive impact on humanity. Let's just leave it there, okay? So the intel which I've received from a good friend of mine, he basically said turn your phone off the 23rd, 24th and 25th. Now, I've looked into this and lots of things do seem to be around those 3 days, okay, which we're going to touch on briefly on the next page, okay. So yes, from a personal note, I would say I'm going to do this myself, okay. I'm going to go to bed on Saturday night, anytime around midnight. I'm going to literally do what I said in previous videos. I'm going to set all of my notifications for off, every notification to off, turn the phone off, wrap it up in tin foil at least 6 times and put it in the middle of the house away from any source of outside signal. So anywhere away from windows, right in the middle of your home, put it underneath something. I know it sounds crazy, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, because let me tell you this, many of us just do not have a clue about how advanced technology is out there, okay? Don't forget, the public only know a certain amount of what is being put out there, okay? Just to put that caveat out there. That's just from my own personal thought about all of this. Lots of things will happen in the media. So I am expecting a massive ramp up in something happening over these 3 days, okay? I suspect there is going to be something major happen here in the UK, which is going to trigger people like myself and like some of you guys watching now who have decided to turn their phone off for that time period and think, oh my God, did you just hear that on the radio? I've got to turn my phone on and find out what's going on. Well, I would say any time in that 3-day window, if you do turn your phone on, whether you want to or not, something's going to get activated on your phone. Yet we just do not know. We just do not understand. But we're erring on the side of caution because after all, we are preppers and we do our best to prepare. And again, this is another one of those exercises. Okay? Lots of things will happen in the media. Don't for it. And keep your phones off. That is what I'm going to do. You can do whatever you want to. I'm not telling you what to do. These are just observations, joining the dots and trying to get the information out there in one video so people are aware and they feel encouraged to research further. Don't take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Please do your own research. That is so important, okay? Some people are reporting settings changed by operator, which I'm going to show on the screen now. And also I've got a friend of mine, he has an iPhone, and this is what he's done, is literally turned all of his settings off. And again, as you can see on the screen now, erring on the side of caution. Someone just emailed me before I decided to make this video that they've got a friend who is going to the O2 Arena to see Mamma Mia. some sort of revival or whatever it is. I don't really know, to be frank. But like I said, I never take stuff at face value. I always check. So I checked. And guess what? The Mamma Mia stuff going on at the O2 was from the 19th, the 20th, the 21st. Oh, there's no show at all until the 26th, 27th and the 20 sorry, the 28th. So why all of a sudden, especially over a weekend, why is there nothing happening in the O2 Arena? It could be something quite trivial. I don't know. But when you add that to everything that I've just said, I do smell rats and all of these different things. So that led me to prompt and probe further into looking into what other events are going on London on that day. So there's so many. There's more than I ever realised, okay? Far more to me to share. So what I'm going to do is tell you what I done. I went into Google and I just typed in events London 23rd of April 2023 and entered it in. And guess what? You got screens and screens and screens of events happening all over London within that 3-day or just on that 1-day time period, okay? Also, something worth mentioning, which some people have mentioned on other channels, is some people unfortunately find themselves in domestic homes, domestic abuse homes, should I say. So lots of problems going on within the household, the person being attacked or assaulted or whatever term you wish to use, as we would talk about this, are usually issued a phone from the emergency services, police, etc. If they really need help, they've got this phone which they can use to call for help. Okay, so what happens if that phone just goes off and it's hidden away? And I have been hearing reports that it doesn't matter if your phone is turned off, it will still activate. Whether there's truth in that, I don't really know. But another good tip, which has just occurred to me as I've been saying that, is when you turn your phone off, try to actually run your phone right out flat. Okay, so it's dead. There's probably some small, tiny little backup power source within there. But like I say, if you disable all of your notifications, wrap it all up in foil, turn your phone off, put it in the middle of a house where no external signals can get into that phone, you are going to be at a much better situation than someone who is just not going to take part. And we just don't know what could happen. But when you look at how the government is treating people of this country, and we all feel it, we all know it, that they're not really a government anymore. It's changed, okay? It is looking like a dictatorship, unfortunately, but very softly and very cosily done. Very sinisterly done, if that's a word. Sinisterly, if I can say that correctly. So yes, I don't trust anything which comes out of the government, to be fair. That's one of the reasons why I don't vote. I only vote for people I trust. Why would you vote for someone you don't trust, you don't know, and look what's happened? Yes, we have let them guys be in charge, and they have given a contract to Fujitsu, who is completely untrustworthy, partnerships with the World Economic Forum. Why would you trust a signal to get through to your device and have all sorts of things happen? Some people are telling me that anything that goes out can come back. So there is a high chance that they could literally just be doing a massive data grab exercise of your passwords, your private emails, anything that you've been doing online, your search history, whatever it is, can literally come back to them. And that could happen over this 3-day period, which I'm leaning towards actually doing, just turning it off, forgetting about your phone for 3 days, okay? Also, I've been hearing that people over in Northern Ireland, you need to check county borders of what happens when you go outside, because obviously as soon as you go from Northern Ireland to Southern Ireland, you're then in the EU. You're no longer part of the United Kingdom. So anyone in Northern Ireland, I would advise that you check what the ramifications or implications are regarding these alerts if you live in Northern Ireland. So something to mull over. And like I said, I haven't heard of anyone talk about this stuff in one video on YouTube. I've seen a few different things fractionalized on separate, should we say, less censored platforms online talking about some of this. So I thought it's only fair and only right to bring it to YouTube, where the majority of people view videos to get this information out there, and I strongly urge people to look into it. Let's hope that nothing bad happens in London, okay? This is the last thing I want. I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. Like some of you guys who have followed me for years know this. I do what I can to help. And if nothing happens, great, fantastic. But just imagine if something was plotted or was planned. This information gets out there and they would have to abort the mission or the exercise, okay? Don't forget what happened in 7/7. If any of you guys think the government and other sinister agencies weren't involved in that training exercise, crazy. Another thing as well, who has seen or come across a play in London last year called The Burnt City? Yes, they always seem to tell us in advance through media and films, etc. Like we said earlier. Now, if you look at this photograph here of the bus, outright terror, bold and brilliant. Literally in plain sight, right in front of you, what they do. Now, Burnt City, if you don't understand that, I'm going to put some links below and I'm going to show a little trailer. In fact, I'm going to run it as I'm talking about this. Now, it's really satanic, really occultist. The people who go in there, it's for 3 hours. You have to wear this really creepy sort of eyes wide shut style mask, like a pantomime mask. It's all sinister, it's all dark. There's violence portrayed, there's sexual depravity going on, etc. And yes, if you think about if this terrible thing actually did happen, and lots of London was exploded and fire and stuff and Burnt City, it just makes you think. They always tend to give us a heads up, but indirectly. Now, something like you're seeing now, do you think that could have any sort of ritualistic precursor to a cover-up false flag, maybe terrorist attack, which could, I hope to God it doesn't happen, this Sunday, which is only a few days away. I know it's crazy, it sounds bonkers, but like I said, this is just information. I can't verify if any of it is true, and to be fair, no one can verify anything which is true or false anymore. That is the current world we're living in. It's very easy to fake stuff. Nonetheless, any of you guys have got intuition, who have developed it, honed it, who trust their life by their intuition, this is something for you guys to literally deep dive as soon as you can and try and dig up whatever you can about everything which I have just said. Like I said, I really hope to God nothing bad happens. But for me, I'm staying well out of the game. I'm not taking part in anything that the government wishes to push on to us, the people. I am going to turn my phone off for 3 days straight. Don't forget, there was a time before the internet. There was a time before smartphones. And I'll tell you what, you and your loved ones will probably be better off for it. You will be finding more quality time. You can read books. You can go out in nature. You can play fun and games and board games, etc. with your kids. You don't need your smartphone. You can do without it for 3 days. Yes, it will be difficult. And like I said, there's always a tablet or a laptop if you feel you need to go online just to see, satisfy your curiosity that nothing bad has happened over that 3-day period. The 23rd, the 24th, the 25th of April, 2023. That is the video which I desperately needed to get out there. I've been thinking on and off about this for the last 4 or 5 days. I decided that now the time is right. It's either now or never. And I really hope nothing sinister happens. Okay. Please share this video. Give it a thumbs up. It helps get the video out there so more people get to see it so they can judge for themselves. Please feel free to leave whatever you feel you need to, which is going to help, in the comment section. And also, if you wish to discuss anything which I've talked about just now, please send me an email. The email is directly below this video. If I don't see you after the said period of time, I will be seeing you on the live stream tonight at 9 PM with our dear friend Richard Vobes, who has been banned from YouTube for 7 days. And it's all going to be a fun, light-hearted, non-conspiratorial, non-fear based live stream. And it's going to be wicked. It's going to be fun. So if you feel you need a break from it all tonight, that live stream is for you. 9 o'clock. Don't forget, find it on my live feed. Select notifications so you don't miss it. And I'll see you in the chat. You guys, take care of yourself. Think about what I said. Please take care and stay funky.